Hello everyone and welcome to part 3 of the chess app tutorial. So first we need to open up Unity again with our project and just wait for that to load real quick. So today we're going to be working on adding more functionality to the actual chess pieces themselves, and we're actually going to be writing a lot more code for this tutorial. So once you have your Unity scene started up again, we will want to go to our scripts folder and make another new script, and we can call this the chessmen script. Now we need to open up this script so that we can begin writing a few lines of code that we'll need. And once this loads here, first of all what we can do is we can delete both of these functions right here. We won't be needing them for now, and I'll just clear up the space a little bit. So first we're going to need some more references just like we had in our other script. So first we want to type public game object controller. So our chess piece, the chessman, we actually need to have a reference to our controller, this controller right here, which we'll attach later. And then we also are going to need a move plate, or we want to capitalize the second part here. So this move plate, how this game is going to work is you're going to be able to click on your chess piece and then a move plate will appear, and then if you click on that plate, then you will actually be able to move your chess piece to that new location. Because remember, this game is kind of meant for phones. It is playable on the computer, but you want to be able to tap and move your pieces with touch input instead of with the keyboard, for example. So we also need to set up some positions, which will actually be some private variables now. So when it says public, this means that it's kind of accessible from everywhere, but when it's private, that's kind of saying that only this script itself can really access it. And an int just means that it's a number, and we actually want to set this to x board, so the x position for the board. And as a default, we just want to set it to -1, so this just means that it's not really on the board yet, because of course it's not put on the board. So just -1. And we want to do the same thing for y, because we're just going to be working with x and y coordinates here. So yeah. And then we're going to need another variable to keep track of if this is for the black player or white player. So you can either play as black or white in the game of chess. Or in this case, because I'm working with green and white, it can actually be the green or white player, but in default chess, that's just what it is. So, whoops. So we want to set this to a private string, and a string is just a way to actually write some text. So we can actually write white right here, for example, but as a default, we can just set it to nothing, and that's completely fine to do for now. So lastly, we're going to need to create some references for all the sprites that the chess piece can be. So what this means is this script works for any chess piece in our game. So we want to have a way to be able to switch the sprite to any of the possible sprites it can be. Because if we go into our sprites folder, we have a king, a knight, a pawn, a queen, a rook, a bishop, and so on. And we also have different ones for white and black. So what we can do is have a reference to each of these individual pieces. So I'll have to type them all out here. So black knight, or black queen I mean, black knight, black bishop, black king, black rook, and black pawn. And we're going to want to do the same thing for all the white pieces. So I can just copy that here and switch this to white, and then just paste that in here. So these are all the pieces that, or these are all the sprites that it could possibly be. And this is going to be all the code that we're going to need for now. I'll just put this here in case you're still typing. And yeah, so let's just continue on now. Now there's some more setup work we're going to have to do in order to get our functions to work. So first, please click on your controller back in the Unity browser again, and go up to this little tag button right here. And we want to switch this to game controller. So this is going to be another way that we can actually reference controller here, instead of dragging the controller into this box right here like we did before with our game script. And we actually have to do this a different way because we do not have an instance of the chess piece on the board or on the scene right now. So if there's no instance, we can't really drag it there the same way that we currently can. So another thing that we're going to have to do is go to our objects and go to the chess piece. Now we clicked here and we want to go back to our script folder and drag this and add this component in. And you can see all of these boxes come up again that we need to use. So all we have to do is go back to our sprites folder that we made before and drag each of these images into the correct places. So I'll just do that real quick. We drag white rook into white rook, and make sure that you open your sprites menu and you do not double click on these different images, or else it'll open the images up instead. So just need to go through and add all of these real quick. White bishop, white knight, white king, white pawn, white queen, black pawn, black queen, black rook, black king, black bishop, and black knight. Okay, just checking over all of these real quick. And looks good. So now all of these images are correctly placed inside of our script here. So this means that we'll be able to access our sprites through the code actually. And when it comes to the controller, like I said before, we don't need to set the controller here. We will actually be using some special functions that can find this exact tag inside of the code instead of doing it the way we were doing it before. Now let's go back into our script that we had before and add a few functions to our code. So first of all, I'll zoom out a little bit, close out of that. And first we need to create a new function called activate. So this is going to be called actually by the game script later on. We won't be implementing that right this minute, but how this is going to work is when the chess piece is created, this activate is going to be called. So what all do we need to do? Well, first of all, we need to have access to that controller. So the controller is going to equal GameObject dot find GameObject with tag. So this is accessing the class itself, the class GameObject itself, which everything you use in here is a game object. And this is not accessing a specific game object, it's just accessing the class itself. And then this is a function that we have available to us that Unity gives to us, the find game object with tag. And then we need to just find game controller, because we already set that up so that the controller is a game controller tagged game object. All right. Next, we're going to call a different function called setCoords. So this is going to take the instantiated location and adjust the transform. So what this means is that right when we create our object, it's going to be given a certain location, and we need to adjust the transform. And the transform is where the x and y coordinates for the object are actually held. And this is really important, and this is different from xboard and yboard. So I could have just said something like adjust the position, but if I said that, I already have the xboard and yboard as its position, and that's the position on the board. For example, 0, 0 might be right here, 1, 0 might be right here, or 0, 1, I don't know, but 1, 1 would be here, but that's not exactly the case for something in unity coordinates. Unity has the transform, and its position might be different, because the board itself is at position 0, 0 in unity. And yeah, so if I move it right here, this position is negative 0.68 and blah, blah, blah. But as you can tell, that board position would actually be something like 4, 4, which is very different. So we're going to need to adjust for that fact and change the xboard and yboard positions to the actual positions. So this is a different function that we will be calling later. And next, we actually want to set up the sprite image. So we want to create what's called a switch statement. If you are new to programming, you might not know what that is, but basically we input the name. So the game object itself has an actual name that's given to it, which will also be set by the game controller that we have before. So we have a bunch of different cases. We have the case that we're a black queen. That's the name of the game object. And we want to access ourselves. So this might be a little bit confusing as well. But when you do this.getComponent, we want to access the component inside of the game object itself that's called sprite renderer, because what we want to do is we want to change the sprite. And actually the sprite renderer has a variable called sprite, and then we can set that equal to black queen because we have a reference to black queen right here. So it might seem a little bit confusing, but that's just how it works. And then with the switch statement, we also need to have a break right at the end here for every case. So yeah, if you are brand new to programming, I know that this all might be a lot and a little bit confusing, but just stick with this and it will begin to make more sense as we go on. And there are also other tutorials that you can watch for example, why do we have these brackets here? Well, this is a generic, so you can look that up if you'd like to. So yeah, I'll do this one other one, and then I'll just copy and paste the rest, because this will be for the black knight, and then break here. So after this, we have the case black bishop, black bishop, copy this, black king, black king, and then after king is rook and pawn, so I'll just add this, rook, and then pawn. And then we can just copy this all and then paste it all. And then in order to do this quickly, I'll just copy all of these values. Okay. Okay, perfect. And this is all that we need to do for our activate. So just to review real quick, we are getting access to the controller so that we can perform some actions with that later on that we'll need to do. And we are setting our own coordinates, which we will implement soon. And also, so our chess piece is given a name. The game object itself will be given a name. Right here you can see the name. And depending on that name, we need to switch to the correct sprite image that we'll use, which we have a reference to, because, let's just go over to the object, we already assigned these to the correct images in Unity itself. So now let's just implement set coordinates. Oh, whoops. All right, so we're going to create some little variables here that keep track of the X-board and Y-board positions, and so that we can convert them real easily. And so we have to adjust these based on the world position in Unity instead of the X-board and Y-board positions that I just made up to make it easier for us. And we have to just multiply them by some specific numbers. So a float, what that means is that we can have decimals. An int can only have integer numbers like 0 or 1 or 2 or -1, but a float can have a 0.66, for example, like we have here. And we also have an f, so that just tells the programming language C# that this is a float. And right here we're doing times equals. So this means whatever the number x is multiplied by 0.66, and then the variable x is also set to that. It's the same thing as doing x times that. But yeah, it's just quicker to write. And then we also need to do the same thing for the y variable. And yeah, these are just values that I found myself through trial and error while creating this program myself. And yeah, we also have to just add a -2.3 to both the x and y. And then with this, we can set our position in Unity itself. So in order to do this, like I said before, we have to adjust the transform. So we access ourself, which is using this, and then we do dot transform. So we need to access our own transform. And inside transform, we also have position. So we need to access the position of the transform. And actually, it's a little bit complicated. We actually have to set position to a vector 3, because a position is a vector 3, which is another thing that Unity has for us. So all we need to do is create a new vector 3 and set x and y. And also, because it's 3, vector 3, so 3-dimensional, we also have our z plane. So we need to set it to -1 so that it's in front of the board instead of behind it. So yeah, this will set the actual in-game position to have it correctly align on the board based on whatever board value we want to give it. All right, I know that was a lot of code to start out with right here. Hopefully that all makes sense to you. And yeah, well, thank you for watching this part, and we will continue on shortly.